What's up, YouTube? Welcome to your 2015 Wild Card recap. And the game I'm doing is, of course, the Carolina Panthers Arizona game. The Carolina Panthers at home defeated the Arizona Cardinals 27-16. And I like what I saw from the defense. Definitely. In Arizona's case, their quarterback was terrible. But I'm just gonna get into some of the numbers for each team. Always do. The team that's playing Carolina first. Ryan Lindley, 16 of 28, 51 yards. Well, let's give him 82 because they take off the sack numbers. 16 of 28, 82 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Was sacked 4 times, QBR of 6.1, and a rating of 44.3. So there's no way you can skew that. The guy was horrible. He missed a lot of throws. The Carolina D, I think, played really good, but the guy missed some throws. And the lone touchdown that he did get, it was on the short field, after a turnover. On the other side of things, Cam Newton, 18 of 32, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Was sacked once, QBR 50, and a rating of 82.6, which is okay. Cam missed some throws in this game. He missed some guys wide open. There were a few drops, but he was missing some throws. It was either thrown too high or something that it was because there was a pass in the game where it just went straight to the ground. So he's gonna have to play better, especially going into you could say this week. He's gonna have to make some of those throws because more often than not, they're not gonna be there against the Seattle team they're about to play. Arizona's rushing. Williams, 10 of 23. 10 carries, 23 yards. Taylor, 3 carries for 3 yards, and Rice, 1 carry for 1 yard. The run game was shut down, and as I said in the preview, that was the one thing they needed to work because you can't rely on Ryan Lindley to sit back and throw the football. Because he's a third string guy. What do you expect to get out of him? You expect a little bit more than what you got, but the rushing game did not come through for him, and it essentially put that offense in a huge hole, forcing Ryan Lindley to throw the ball. Carolina did an excellent job against the run. The interior linemen did a good job pressuring the quarterback, closing up those run lanes. And Luke Kuechly, which allows Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis to run free, and those guys were everywhere. The Carolina side of things, rushing game was really good. Now, this is what surprised me because I'm a big fan of being able to run the ball and playing defense will win you a lot of games, especially in the playoffs. And that is what Carolina did in this game. Jonathan Stewart, 24 carries, 123 yards. And a touchdown. Cam Newton carried it 7 times for 35 yards. DeAngelo Williams 4 for 16. Mike Tolbert 2 for 7. Jericho Cotchery 1 for 5. And Fozzie Whitaker 1 carry for 4 yards. Which total they ran it 41 times for 188 yards. Definitely the bright spot of what they were doing. 4.6 average. So I thought they ran it pretty good against a solid Arizona defense, and I said they were going to be hard pressed, or it's going to be a tough climb to run the ball against the Arizona defense. They did a good job of that. Next, going to the receiving, Arizona Brown 4 receptions, 34. Fitzgerald 3 receptions, 31. We'll have to see what happens to him over the offseason because they've been saying that he might be gone, so we'll see how that goes. Carlson 3 receptions, 25. Hughes 1 reception, 6. Taylor, why the hell did it say 0? I don't know. And Daniel Fells 1 reception for 1 yard, and he had the lone receiving touchdown. All in all, he only had 82 yards passing, so you're not gonna have huge receiving numbers. On the Carolina side of things, not an explosive day. Like I said, Cam missed some throws. Fozzie Whitaker 1 reception, 39, and a touchdown. Greg Olsen 3 receptions, 37. Philly Brown, 3 receptions, 37. Ed Dixon, 1 reception, 34. Kelvin Benjamin, 4 receptions, 33. He had, I believe, at least 2 drops. Jericho Cotchery, 3 receptions, 14. Burson, 1 reception for 6. Mike Tober, 1 reception for 1 yard, and he had a touchdown. The other touchdown. So, like I said, the passing game for either team wasn't great. Arizona's was terrible, but Carolina, I thought they missed some throws, or Cam didn't see guys open that were open. Let's see. I'll get into the turnovers coming later. Defensively, Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, Star Lotulelei, K'Wan Short, and let me see, Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson played good. Charles Johnson had 3 tackles, 2 sacks, which the sacks count as tackles for losses, and 2 QB hits. Luke Kuechly was responsible for 2 interceptions. There was one at the end of the game where Arizona had a chance to put the score at 23-27, and Luke Kuechly tipped the ball and then got picked off. And he also had another pick where he clearly read the quarterback's eyes and picked it off. So to me, he was the best defender. Just from making those huge, those were 2 huge defensive plays. Thought Thomas Davis did a good job in coverage. Didn't give up a lot of yards. Whenever whoever he was guard did catch the ball. Like I said, Charles Johnson played good. Let me see. Checking everybody else. Dwan Edwards. He had 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 QB hit. I thought up front they dominated. Obviously against that run game, and then when they needed to get pressure, they were able to do so, especially in the interior. If you can get pressure against the quarterback with your defensive tackles, it makes, especially with a quarterback that can't run, it makes it very difficult for them to make plays down the field. Ryan Lilly couldn't make the plays anyway. Let's see. Okay, 3rd down efficiency. Arizona 3 of 12 and Carolina's 5 of 15. Neither were great on 3rd downs. 4th down, Arizona didn't go for any 4th down, and Carolina was 0-2. Total plays, Carolina ran 74, Arizona ran 47, which means there were a lot of 3-and-outs. Total yards, this is ridiculous. Carolina had 386 total yards, which is pretty good. Arizona only had 78, which I believe they said was a playoff record. I'm still surprised Arizona didn't decide to pull Ryan Lindley. I mean, he wasn't doing anything. Give the other guy a chance. And that kind of confused me. Yards per play, Carolina 5.2, Arizona 1.7. 1.7 is not going to cut it. Let's see. Interception. We're going to turnovers. Yards per pass, Carolina 6, Arizona 1.6. Not getting big plays. Both teams were 2 of 3 in the red zone. Penalties, Carolina hurt themselves a lot, especially early on in the game, which kept Arizona in the game and gave Arizona the lead at one point. Carolina had 8 penalties for 80 yards. They cannot do that next week against Seattle. They had the luxury of playing against a really bad quarterback who really couldn't, once you go up on them, especially as poorly as that run game was, it was going to be difficult to get any points without getting a short field. Arizona, 7 penalties for 38 yards. Both teams had 3 turnovers. Carolina had 2 fumbles lost and 1 interception thrown, which was one thrown by Cam Newton. Time possession was won by Carolina, 37 minutes 6 seconds to 22 minutes 54 seconds. So Carolina won time possession. Carolina had more penalties, but where it really mattered was Carolina was able to run the ball. They were able to run the ball, and and they at least did make some plays in the passing game. And to me, that's the difference in the game. When the turnovers about the same, you had 3, which are a lot. Those were essentially Arizona scored 14 of their 16 points. Hold on, they scored 10 of their 16 points from turnovers. So without those turnovers, they couldn't drive the ball down the field on that defense, and they didn't in most of that game. Let me check some other stats. Okay. Carolina this week, play the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to get into, because I'm going to do a video, of course, talking about how I did this week. And if you don't know, if you looked at my previous video, I did go 3-1. The only game I did lose was the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game. Baltimore ended up winning. I picked Pittsburgh. So, going to next week, I'm gonna talk about each of those games. If you want me to, I will cover the other 3 games: the Cowboys, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati, Indianapolis. We'll cover those. Let me know down in the comment section which ones you want me to cover. Pretty sure there's a lot of people going to go with the Dallas-Detroit game because it was actually a really good game. I would say most of the games have been really good. They've been close for the most part. Baltimore, I guess that game got a little bit out of hand. So did the Cincinnati game. That game was close at the beginning. That got out of hand. But let me know down in the comment section which game you want me to do from the wild card weekend. And if you watch this game, tell me what you think about it. How both teams played, and looking ahead to this week coming up. Of course, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.